welcome to our class on A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams, a landmark play that delves into the raw complexities of human relationships and personal conflicts. Today, we'll analyze the main and supporting characters, explore their dynamic interactions, and examine how these relationships drive the plot of the play forward. By the end, you will understand how William crafts a narrative rich with tension, desire, and tragedy. Let's dive into the vibrant yet gritty world of New Orleans Elysian Fields. Our learning objectives guide our exploration today. First, we'll dissect the intricate dynamics between characters, looking at how their motivations and conflict shape their interactions. Second, we'll see how these relationships propel the plot, creating moments of intense drama. Finally, we'll compare character types to uncover how William uses contrast to highlight their personalities and worldviews. These goals will help us appreciate the depth of this Pulitzer Prize-winning play. Let's meet the four main characters who anchor a streetcar named Desire. And first on our list is the main protagonist, which is the main character, Blanche DuBois, a faded satin belief that I represent here in this slide with the faded flower or the wilted flower, who clings to illusion to escape a traumatic past. Next is Stanley Kowalski, a crude and domineering working class man, rules his household with intensity. And then we have his wife, Stella Kowalski, who is also the younger sister to Blanche DuBois. She navigates a passionate marriage to Stanley while tied to her sister by family bonds. Finally, we get to meet Mitch, Stanley's sensitive friend, who offers Blanche a glimmer of hope, but how well that plays out we don't know until you stay with me to the end of the analysis of this text. So this character's contrasting traits sets the stage for explosive conflict. Now let's meet the characters one after the other, and we'll look at Blanche DuBois, who is a tragic figure, a certain Billy whose refined manner masks deep fragility, a past marked by her husband's suicide after his homosexuality was discovered, and the loss of her family's plantation, Berev, drives her to seek refuge in illusion. She wouldn't want to hold on to reality, she wants to live in an illusion that all is well, whereas nothing is well. Blanche manipulates others with flirtation, hoping to secure a husband to shield her from reality. Her quote is, "I don't tell truth, I tell what ought to be truth." And this captures her reliance on fantasy. Symbol like the paper lantern she places over the light bulb reflects her desperate need to soften harsh truth. But this facade crumbles under scrutiny, as you will discover as we move on with the analysis of this play. And next is our rock-wise man, Stanley Kowalski, who embodies raw power and volatility. A working class man, he rules his home with an iron fist, viewing himself as its king. His crude manners and blunt honesty clash with Blanche's refined illusions, fueling their conflict. Stanley's belief in the Napoleonic Code, as seen in his quote, underscores his patriarchal mindset, where he claims ownership over Stella's inheritance. Harsh light symbolizes his unyielding pursuit of truth, while jungle imagery in scene 10 highlights his primal destructive instinct, culminating in his devastating act against Blanche, as you will discover along in the play, because he does something so bad to Blanche. Oh, am I to going to forward? Am I to forward with that? Alright, let's proceed to the next character. And here we have Stella Kowalski, who is the emotional bridge between Blanche and Stanley. Unlike her sister, Stella embraces a working-class life in New Orleans, finding passion in her volatile marriage to Stanley. Her quote is, "I'm not in anything I want to get out of," reveals her acceptance of this life despite its violence. Stella's loyalty to both her sister and husband creates inner conflict, especially when she must choose between believing Blanche's accusation against Stanley or preserving her marriage. Ellison Field represents a new reality, while the meat package Stanley toasts as her symbolizes our dependence on him. And then the other main character is Mitch, who is Stanley's friend, offers a stark contrast to his crude poker buddies. His kindness and sensitivity draw Blanche to him as she sees him as a chance for salvation through marriage. Mitch's sincerity shines in moments like sharing his inscribed cigarettes, a case, a gift from a lost love. However, his quote, "You're not clean enough to bring home to my mother," reveals his judgmental side when he learns of Blanche's scandalous past. The roses he brings symbolizes fleeting romance crushed by Stanley's revelation, leaving Mitch broken and unable to challenge Stanley's dominance. Now we're done with the four main characters, we have to look at some other characters which are the supporting characters, and they are Eunice and Steve that enrich the play's social fabric. Eunice, Stella's upstairs neighbor, embodies the resilient spirit of the working class community in Elysian Fields. She offers refuge to Stella during Stanley's outburst and comforts her in the play's tragic end, reinforcing communal bond. Steve, Eunice's husband and Stanley's folk buddy, plays a smaller role but bolsters the male-dominated society during the poker night. Together, they ground the play in its gritty New Orleans setting, highlighting the broader social context of the main character's struggles. Now we're done with the characters' introduction. Let's check out their relationship, the dynamics, and the first we look at is the family bond between Blanche and her sister Stella, which is both tender and fraught. Despite their low class differences drive the wedge between them, Blanche, clinging to her upper class Southern roots, resents Stella for leaving the Rev to start a new life in New Orleans. In scene 1, Blanche's bitterness surfaces as she laments, "Where were you? There with your Pollard." Stella, torn between her sister and husband, tries to mediate but faces an impossible choice. Their relationship underscores the tension between past tradition and present reality. Now, don't forget, these two sisters grew up in a certain plantation where they did virtually nothing but just enjoy the good of the land. And now they actually upper class citizens. But in the new reality that they face, they've lost the rev, yet Blanche still wants to stick to the past, whereas the sister says, "Nothing here to live on anymore. Let us stick to what we can see. This is our reality now." And she clings to her husband, but this is where the conflict actually gets into the whole story. And Stanley's marriage is a tempest of passion and violence. Their deep sexual chemistry binds them, but Stanley's abusive behavior creates a destructive cycle. In scene 3, after hitting Stella, Stanley's raw cry, "Stella!" draws her back, highlighting their mutual dependence. Blanche presents present threatens this dynamic as she urges Stella to leave Stanley, calling him subhuman, even says that they're brutes, like Stanley is the head of a pack or something, you know. So Stella's choice to stay with Stanley, even after suspecting his assault on Blanche, reveals the tragic cost of her emotional and financial reliance on him. Next, we look at Stanley and Mitch's friendship, rooted in shared experience as poker buddies and co-worker. It's tested by Mitch's feelings for Blanche. Stanley, protective of his social circle, manipulates Mitch by revealing Blanche's past, shattering Mitch's hope on marrying her. In scene 11, Mitch's attempt to confront Stanley over Blanche's mistreatment ends in failure as he collapses in tears. This moment highlights Stanley's dominance and Mitch's powerless disposition, showing how romantic interest can fracture even strong friendship in the place tense social world. The central conflict of the Streetcar named Desire pits Blanche against Stanley, two forces locked in a brutal power struggle. Blanche's refined illusion and upper class air clash with Stanley's crude honesty and working class pride. Their mutual disdain escalates, and Blanche calling Stanley subhuman and Stanley exposing a scandalous past. In scene 10, Stanley's rape of Blanche, underscored by inhuman jungle voices, marked the climax of their conflict, destroying Blanche's fragile psyche. This antagonism drives the play's tragic arc, exposing the destructive clash of opposing values. Now let's engage with the play through these discussion questions. First, consider how character backgrounds, Blanche's aristocratic past, Stalin's working class roots shape their perspective in conflict. Second, explore how differences fuel tensions such as Blanche's disdain for Stanley's polar heritage. Then finally, analyze how William uses poise like Blanche's illusion versus Stanley's truth to highlight their traits. These questions invite you to dig deeper into the play's rich character dynamics. Alright, you can reach out to me through the email on the screen, tutoromashone@gmail.com. If you have any more questions, please drop them in the comment section. I will talk about them together. Till I come your way again, you are on to Omashone. Do have a good time. See you in my next outing. Bye for now.